It's almost time for some Carabao Cup Semi-Final action. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be a look ahead to the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. The competition enters its final four stage with Arsenal set to take on Newcastle tonight and Tottenham set to go against Liverpool tomorrow night in the first leg of the Carabao Cup. We're going to be looking ahead to both of those games and, of course, the second leg stage, which will, I believe, take place in about 2 or 3 weeks. I can't remember off the top of my head when. But, of course, for whatever reason, this competition still has a semi-final that is played out across 2 legs. God knows why, but that's just the way the format of the competition is. So we're going to be looking ahead and predicting the outcome of the semi-final stage. We're going to be predicting who makes it to the final. But before we go any further in discussing all of that and much more, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure will make for great and interesting reading down below. So anything you got to talk about in regards to the Carabao Cup, the semi-finals, who you think will make it to the final and all of that stuff will make for great and interesting reading. So please do use and abuse that comment section, people. And now that that's out of the way and done with, let's get on with the video. Let's talk Carabao Cup semi-final action. And we're going to start off with tonight's game, Arsenal against Newcastle. Now, of course, earlier on in the season when these two teams met in the Premier League, Newcastle were the ones that came out on top in that one, a 1-0 victory at St James's Park. A big win for Newcastle, a big blow to Arsenal's title challenge, shall we say, early on. Now, though, this one throws up a massive layer of difficulty for me to actually predict because Arsenal definitely need this. Arsenal need some sort of silverware this season. And, of course, this is a massive opportunity to obtain some level of silverware. Do you remember when Jurgen Klopp didn't used to take these competitions seriously, the domestic cup seriously, because he didn't really have the squad to do so? He may have won the Champions League, he may have won the Premier League, but things were hanging over his head, like his performances in the domestic cup competitions. Arteta only has one FA Cup to his name, and you may laugh at the idea of winning a Carabao Cup. You may say there's bigger fish to fry than the Carabao Cup. It's still a good competition to win, and it still could be a bit of a momentum gainer for the team that wins it. Arsenal could benefit from this. Arsenal really could benefit from this. And like I said, they've got a very good opportunity. They're at a game where I think a large portion of us, despite the fact of Newcastle's recent form, would probably say that Arsenal are the favourites for going into this game. And then, of course, it then is a final. And we know that they have given Liverpool a good game in recent years, regardless of what competition it's been in. We know that, obviously, a London derby against Spurs would be incredible in itself. But, obviously, again, a lot more favourable to Arsenal. So this is a very good opportunity for Arsenal to gain some silverware for this season, even if it is in the form of what a lot of people would say is a low priority competition. In saying that though, Arsenal haven't exactly been incredible in recent weeks, I would say. They've picked up some good results here and there, but there are also blips of results in there as well that would suggest to me that they are somewhat there for the taking. Draws to the likes of Fulham and Everton, for example. A draw this past weekend against Brighton. I would say Newcastle should really fancy their chances here, and especially with the form that Eddie Howe's side are coming into this game with. Both games, in fact. Newcastle coming into this one in fine form. Alexander Isak especially is firing on all cylinders right now. They're coming up against an Arsenal defence which may currently be, I believe, the best in the league. But I'm not entirely convinced by it. I'm still not entirely convinced that it is as watertight this season as it has been in the previous couple. They have a very good opportunity to get through to a final themselves. And then from there, who knows what may happen, especially in this competition. Newcastle should go into this one looking to get one over on Arsenal again. Now, the first game's away from home, so of course, in a two-leg situation, you just want to get back to your home stadium and get the game won there. If you can maybe go away from home and obviously win the game before the second leg is even kicked off, fantastic. But the odds of that happening are incredible, to say the least. Newcastle, if they come out of this one with a draw and then take it back to St James's Park, I think the favourite then shifts. I think the scales then tip in Newcastle's favour. And it's very possible that that could happen. Like I said, I think Arsenal's attack in recent weeks has been a little bit blunt. Set pieces have seemingly been their most trusted ally and weapon in recent games. And that's not a knock, by the way. That is not a knock. You obviously have to exploit all aspects of the game. Set pieces is one of them. But from open play, if they are against a well-structured, well-disciplined system, they often look a little blunt. They did against Brighton. And Brighton aren't exactly the most watertight of defences either. So, Newcastle really should fancy their chances here. The only knock on Newcastle immediately right off the bat appears to be that they are going to be missing both Fabian Schär and Bruno Guimaraes for this game. Reports are coming out that they will both miss the game. Both will be absent. That is a big blow to Newcastle. Guimaraes in particular, who has been absolutely outstanding in recent weeks for Newcastle. I think he's been, along with Isak, of course, a very big catalyst in terms of Newcastle's recent form. Really being, really kind of progressing and really flourishing under Eddie Howe. So that's going to be a massive miss. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes in there. Is it going to be the legs of Sean Longstaff, who we obviously saw in the Premier League game of this, who I think, I don't know if he may actually be fit enough, but I think he will be there. Could also be former Arsenal player himself, Joe Willock, in there. They're going to need legs in that midfield. And so that could obviously be a big blow, but also could be an opportunity to really use their depth in that midfield area to their advantage. And of course, Joe Linton in the Premier League game as well had a fantastic game, playing in a somewhat different position to what we're used to seeing him in the central midfield, but he played very well indeed in that game against Arsenal in the Premier League a couple of months ago. So it's going to be a very interesting game, this. Which way do I see this game going? Obviously Arsenal are the favourites, but it's again my head against my heart. My heart says Newcastle, my head says Arsenal. So I'm going to go with what my gut is telling me to tip the scales. And my gut's telling me there's an upset here. My gut is telling me that there is an upset on the cards in this one. And I think Newcastle will get through to the final. I really, really do. I'm going to go with Newcastle to win across both legs. I think they will get a decent result tonight. I think it'll be something like a 1-1 or a 2-2 or something. And then they'll take it back to St James's Park, and I think they will have the game of their lives at St James's Park and make it through to another Carabao Cup final. I'm going with Newcastle to knock out Arsenal in the semi-finals of this competition. Next, moving on to tomorrow night's game. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium awaits Tottenham against Liverpool. And this is a question of how serious are Liverpool going to take this competition this year. They've already made it through to the semi-final, so it does show that they are taking it some level of seriousness to this. However, with the Premier League situation being as it is right now, with the Champions League done and dusted as far as what Liverpool are concerned for the league phase stage of the competition. And then obviously by the time the final comes around, the knockouts of the Champions League will obviously be around, blah, blah, blah. How serious will Liverpool take the semi-final? Is this an opportunity to rest some players? Or should we really go for it in a serious way and see if we can defend the trophy that we won last year? See if we can become back-to-back winners of this competition. A competition that obviously we are the most successful club in its history. I think we should go for it, personally. And I think that given Tottenham's recent home record, given the fact that a few short weeks ago, we absolutely obliterated Tottenham by 6-3. The scoreline may, say it was closer than it actually was, but at the same time, we gifted them goals. We took our foot off the pedal and they capitalised. But then we just went and scored anyway. So we were literally toying with them a few short weeks ago during our game against them. I think we should go for it. And I think we should probably look to get this maybe done and dusted in the first leg. I think Liverpool could go strong, especially because our away form has actually been better than our home form this season. I think Liverpool could really go strong in the first leg and get the game pretty much wrapped up by the second leg. It would just take a professional performance, not to take anything for granted, just to see the game out from there. Because Liverpool have the capabilities to do it. And it's not just the capabilities in terms of personnel, but in terms of squad rotation as well. I think we have a very much a bigger and deeper squad than Spurs, even without the injuries we obviously do. That is more full of quality, and I think that Liverpool can and will get the job done both home and away. Now that's not to say it's obviously a foregone conclusion, and of course, us playing our I assume we'll be playing our fringe players tonight. I assume we'll see Keeman Kelleher in goal, for example. I think Connor Bradley will start at right back. Although, I would probably go Bradley to start against Nottingham Forest next week. Maybe have a few cameo appearances, maybe to build up his fitness. And maybe stick with Trent, even though Trent was absolutely abysmal at the weekend. I'd probably go... That's where I would do it, but I think a slot would probably go Bradley. He'd probably go Gomez and Konate in the centre-back pairing to obviously build up... sorry, not Gomez, because obviously Gomez is injured. Kwanzaa and Konate, because obviously Gomez is injured. Konate still probably needs to build up some minutes in his legs coming back from injury, so that would probably be the centre-back pairing there. Tsimikas, left-back. You're probably going to get a midfield three. That will probably consist of... Soboslai didn't obviously play at the weekend, but if he's back, he may actually be involved here. I imagine Harvey Elliott's going to get some minutes as well, which will be great to see. I would imagine maybe a Curtis Jones keeps his place. Maybe Alexis McAllister starts the game, may not finish the game. Depends obviously on how Slot wants to play it. I think we might see Chiesa in this game as well, which would be brilliant if we do, because obviously we've only seen him for like half an hour in the first half of the season that has been and gone so far. Jota, hopefully to get more minutes, and we know how much he loves a goal in this kind of atmosphere, in this kind of game, and obviously in this kind of competition. And then I think it will probably be one of Diaz or Gakpo on the left. You could maybe throw in Darwin Núñez, but I am really not interested in seeing a competition of who's worse, of Darwin Núñez on one side and Timo Werner on the other. It's just going to be an absolute comical disaster class, in my personal opinion. But, like I say, it's not exactly a foregone conclusion. Spurs can obviously strike a surprise, and obviously this is going to be their biggest and best opportunity at winning a trophy this season. A trophy that Ange Postecoglou has claimed that he always wins, well, any kind of trophy, but you get my point. A trophy is always what he wins in his second season with any club. So this is his best and biggest opportunity to do that. It's probably his only opportunity to do that this season, even though we don't exactly know what the future holds in terms of the FA Cup or the Europa League, for example. But Spurs being Spursy, this is probably going to be their best opportunity at winning a trophy, at least for this season. I think Liverpool win this game. I think they'll probably win both home and away. At the very least, they will win one game and draw the other. And we'll see the game out from there. It'll just be interesting to see what the rotation's like. It'll be interesting to see how Arne Slot approaches this game. It'll be interesting to see who he rotates, who he drops out, who he brings in, how strong he goes. It's just going to be a very, very interesting game from that kind of perspective. And Spurs, they have injury problems. They don't really have much of a choice as to their strongest lineup and who they will play. But at the same time, they still have threats. It's just their defence and goalkeeper situation, which of course is cause for concern for them. Their midfield is still strong. Their attack is still dangerous. But Liverpool should have enough about them, regardless of whether it's going to be a strong squad or a rotated squad or a mixture of A and B squads, to get the job done. And there you have it. I'm going with Liverpool to get through, and I'm going with Newcastle to get through as well. I think we're going to get a Liverpool versus Newcastle Carabao Cup final this year. But of course, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of the Carabao Cup semi-final this week? 2 cracking games for us to feast our eyes upon and to sink our teeth into, both across the next couple of nights. I want to know what you guys are thinking and feeling. What are your thoughts, your comments, opinions, feelings, but most of all, what are your predictions on how you think both games will go in the Carabao Cup semi-final? I want to know what you guys are thinking and feeling. So use and abuse that comment section, people, and talk to me on this. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And thank you all so much for watching and listening. Thank you all so much for your support, whether it be brand new. Welcome along to the channel. If you are brand new, your support is always and forever be greatly appreciated and never be taken for granted. And if you are continuing, likewise, the same goes for you awesome people as well. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I will soon speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you all again very, very soon.